Peace. Peace to you wherever you are. How are you? Peace. Who is this? Black Moonlight. Peace to you. Ricochet 7. What's up, fam? Peace to you, X Unknown. If I got cabbage in my teeth, y'all look over me. I'm cooking and I'm trying to eat dinner, and I knew that I needed to go live at the same time. So I hope y'all don't think it's rude or anything, but you know, girl gotta eat. And I'm not trying to be cute for YouTube or nobody else. And take care of myself. And then I have something to share. So peace to y'all. This is gonna be really special. How's everybody? It's 8 people in here with us already. Peace to you, Kathy. Leslie, peace to you, sis. Oh, thank you. You know, today was a no makeup day, but I was like, girl, I could at least put some eyebrows on. And a little eyeliner. Those masks be making me break out. So I haven't really been able to wear makeup like I used to. Y'all, I made some purple cabbage. I don't know why I'm telling y'all what I cooked, but I feel like I need to tell you. But I made purple cabbage. Some people call it red cabbage, but it's really purple. And I made some plant-based chicken patties. And I made some plant-based macaroni and cheese. And we have some loaded baked potatoes, our style. And I made some yams in case I wanted something sweet. And gluten-free cornbread. So, yeah. A girl trying to love herself with food today. You gotta find ways to love yourself. Real talk. So peace to y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and get started. I am gonna pull a card for everybody here. And I'm expecting for this card to be groundbreaking. I feel in the energy. I know that new moon is in Pisces, and Pisces energy is always very it makes me deep and reflective. And new moon energy, it activates my subconscious mind. So I feel like when I'm in this mental vibration, I'm able to be a really clear channel for other souls who are awakening. So can you all hear me good? Let me make sure we ain't got that issue we had before where I started channeling and y'all couldn't even hear me. So peace to everybody here. Peace, Kimberly. I was trying to get roll call done before I get started. Peace to you. So I have a new deck, and this new deck is the Sybyls Oracle. Okay, you see this? It comes with this awesome book, and this book is by Tiana Lee McQuiller. She has done a lot of other amazing things. She's a bit of a historian. So she goes really deep into explanations for things. And so I don't know about y'all, but at this phase in my awakening, you know, the phase where you excited that you awakening and you want to tell people the truth, you know, and then you go through this phase of you don't know who you are anymore, and maybe people around you think you've changed, and you're searching for your soul's authentic signature. You're searching for ways to create the reality that you feel that you are here to create. And when you are doing that, I realized this week that awakening is not really ascension per se. It is to descend with the intention of rising above and ascending. So throughout this week, I've been descending into depths of grief. Really can't put your finger on why. I've been emotional. I've been sad. I've had moments where I was really like looking into being bipolar and like, what the hell, maybe I'm bipolar. No judgment if you are. But my mind just has been very inquisitive and inquiring about everything regarding me and my mission and my purpose. And so this book and this tarot card reading that we're gonna do, y'all, get you something to drink and sit here for a moment, because I'm telling you, it's gonna take you on a journey. I've been working with these cards, and it feels like working with these cards have activated new layers to peel back that I didn't know were there. And you can always find something that needs healing in your life, but once you find that wound, like how do you move forward when there are so many things behind you that you don't have closure about, or you thought you got over it but you didn't? How do you move forward when you feel like your awareness has become a burden? And on a certain level, ignorance can be blissful. So when you awaken, all of a sudden you just become this person, and you're not quite sure who you are, but you're sure who you are not. So you become aware of the things that you don't any longer want to be. So when you're searching for your soul's authentic vibration, you're searching for videos, books, channels, you're looking everywhere for the truth, because what you really are doing is trying to grasp the wholeness of yourself. And everybody has a story. Everybody has trauma. But to awaken, and I wrote a blog about this, to awaken in a time is so chaotic. This is like the chaos magicians, like on the hidden hand level. I mean, they just look at the world. We can't buy anything without a mask. Like, this is a reality that I think a lot of us would have never thought that we would have experienced. We're living in a time where genocide is being dressed up as salvation. To be aware of that is to feel. To feel is to experience pain, grief, sadness, but also joy, happiness. So lately, and I didn't know that the new moon was in Pisces until like earlier today, and it made it make more sense to me. But I want to say to you, I want to do this reading for those of you who know that you have not reached your authentic self to a point where you have become more confident about certain things you hadn't been confident about. Whether that is your finances, whether that is your relationships, your career. Maybe you don't know your purpose in life, but purposes, because most people have more than one. Maybe you don't know who to trust. And if like me, you came through church, it was very comforting. But when you left, it felt like you were just starting all over again. So it's almost like going to see this amazing movie, and you identify with this character in this movie, and this character becomes the hero, and it feels really, really good when you're watching it. And maybe you even move to tears in some parts. But when you leave the movie, it's like you get smacked with reality. So for a lot of us, church was like Novocaine. Whatever your traditional religious practices were was like Novocaine. So to awaken, you begin to question everything, and you don't make any final decisions about anything because you're on this journey of exploration to see what resonates as true for me. There is no one truth. Truth and a lie is not black and white. It's so many shades of gray in between there, because we are each unique individuals. But even though we're each unique individuals, we're one. And it's life is mind-boggling. And I don't think any philosophy could encompass what we are experiencing right now. Manifestation is speeding up, so your thoughts create your reality. So if you find yourself in a reality that you don't enjoy, then you begin changing your thoughts, right? And so what I've been noticing is the thoughts that I let run rampant for too long, the thoughts that I know are not in alignment with my higher self, they make me feel miserable, like more miserable than ever before. And it's a sensitive thing because I put myself out there throughout this spiritual awakening for the world to see. And I would like to sit here and tell you that I know all the answers and I got it all right. My life is exactly the way I want it to be. But the truth of the matter is, it's not enough people being transparent and real, because the spiritual ego eases into the awakening and it makes it harder for you to be authentic. And so that's something that I struggle with, because I felt like by this point I shouldn't have days where I'm having a spiritual emergency, or weeks. Sometimes it lasts for weeks, trying to be a parent and be conscious at the same time. It's so difficult. And you're trying to balance so many different worlds at one time and manage everything and make sure that nothing falls through. For those of you who are parents who are going through the awakening, it's painful to know the amount of time, energy, and money that I invested into a reality, a religion, and now it's like I don't have a return on that investment, right? So now I'm doing decodings and having to go back into some of the religious texts and teachings that was passed down to so many of us, and we're having to decode it just so we can change the programming. Because if you can't identify the virus, how can you correct it? You have to first identify the virus before you can find a solution for it. So it actually aches my heart that the webinar we're doing tomorrow about conscious parenting, what it's really about is you and your own trauma. You and the subconscious programs and the wounds that they caused. And living in this world has been so contaminated and run so anti-nature, from this shape of the houses that we live in, to the shape of the doorways into the houses, which are squares, but they should be circles because they're portals and sacred geometry. You know, the energy and movement of the spiral circle is creation. So the very energy that we live in is literally a box. And then you have the planet Saturn, and Saturn has been controlling the reality and the perception being projected onto the planet. And then you on top of that, we're moving into age of Aquarius. So you can feel really crazy, and you can have days where you're second guessing everything. And I had a point this week, I was like, maybe we shouldn't do this webinar. Not many people seem to be interested. You know, maybe we're making a mistake. Maybe we shouldn't do this. But I meditated and I was just like, show me the way. Because there is a huge part of me that is uncomfortable with pulling the rug from under people's feet, because there may be some things that may be revealed that you didn't realize was playing a role in your own inferiority, negative self-talk, inability to love self, inability to be intimate truly, inability to be fully present, inability to show up in the world fully as yourself, allowing everybody else to have whatever opinion about you they want to because it's theirs, and not caring. The ability to not be burdened by the cares of the world, so to speak. And you know, you're in the world and not of the world, but you feel like shit is so backwards. It's just like, how do I function in a world that feels backwards to me and upside down? And so this is the awakening. And it was really difficult. And I went into meditation. I made the decision, no, I was led to do this. I don't care how many people show up, we're doing this. And but I had that moment of doubt. And that moment of doubt came in because I know, I can't speak for nobody else, but there was a time in my life, if anybody would have told me that what I was investing so much time and money into was false, and it was a thought form that was created with the intention of oppression, and that the very foundations of that thing was based on murder and sacrifice and so much bloodshed and so many wars to anchor monotheistic religions, so that probably would have been too much for me. And then they come behind that and they say to me, now let me explain to you that there is a connection between this and your issues with being able to give birth and create, bring something from that was an idea and actually make it into substance, and I know y'all feel it too. It's like there's always this block, and it seems like there's always something where you can't quite push through, so even though I've accomplished so much, there's so much more trauma to be healed. So these things made me wonder if I should do it. The topic of sexuality is still very taboo, and it shouldn't be. It should be the topic of conversation anytime it needs to be, because it is a natural part of life. And if you were affected by the slave trade, if you were affected by monotheistic religions, your sexuality, your sacral chakra has definitely been hijacked. What made you feel safe threw your root chakra off. That stuff don't make you feel safe anymore. Now you're trying to operate in a new system with a new mind as a new person in a world that still looks like it's the old world. And that's because it's your presence that is going to change the world into the world that it needs to be. So, it's been an epic week of deep self-reflection and realization as to what part am I playing. And before I start pulling the cards, I want to say this, and then I want to see what you all are saying too. I'm gonna make sure that I look and see what you guys are saying. But with these cards were inspired by the Sybyls, and the Sybyls were oracles of the old world. And what happened was the Sybyls started monotheistic religion, kind of went to war with the very purpose of Sybyls, of oracles, these seers. And religion actually used the Sybyls to help create a lot of the text that is used as the foundations of the books, whether it's the Torah or the Quran or the Holy Bible. So I was really drawn to this because being an oracle is just a part of my makeup. And the way I was led to it was really fascinating. That's another story for another time. But my point in saying that is, just because I'm sitting here in front of you on this screen right now, I don't have it all together. And as I'm going through this process, I want my journey to be able to be something that uplifts others. And with social engineering by way of social media, with geoengineering, with the weather wars. Now they're trading water on the stock market. Like, it's just, it's so crazy. We were out of water. The whole city of Memphis, there was no water nowhere that you could buy in any store. Nothing. And it was a reality. It was another reality check. You know, we keep getting these reality checks where whatever you think is certain, it's not. And we're really realizing how temporal this world is and how it really is a simulation. And a lot of us have blocks, and a lot of us are being held back, and we don't know why. And I'm one of those people, you know? So I'm still on the journey of searching myself. And I hope that sharing this journey with y'all is gonna be able to be light for you when you need it, if you need it. And you all are definitely that for us too, because we wouldn't have continued doing this and created a business from awakening without y'all, you know? We wouldn't. We didn't know it was so many people who felt very similar things that we did, so thank you. Okay, I'm gonna pull this card. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything of questions. X Unknown said today was a cool day. That's what's up. Audio and visual clear. Awesome. Yes. Yes. Okay. Oh, you caught your first live. That's what's up. Yeah, SQ the beat maker. You gotta send us some beats. So, okay, we're gonna get into this. Now, with these cards are color-coded. When I first got them, I couldn't tell they were color-coded. I don't know why. I was having a colorblind day, but these are color-coded. So each color represents something different. So some of these cards will be what you call cool cards, or red hot cards. Blue cool, red hot. You have core issues, and you have your whatever you're projecting into your reality. So this goes really, really deep. And the very first time I did a reading for myself, I ain't gonna lie, like I think I slipped into a depression. Because again, it was just a whole other part of my reality that light had not shined on. And I was like, this is deep. I haven't even used these in my personal readings with people, because you really got to be ready for it. So this is kind of a unveiling at the same time. And for those of you who really want to go deep, these are even deeper as the Dark Goddess cards that I use. So yes, I thought the Pisces energy would be really good for us to go deep. So I'm going to go deep for the collective right now. And I feel like for the collective, I was going to do a pick a card, but I was like, fuck that. We're not doing that. We need to just get right to the heart of the matter. So I'm going to be asking the Sybyls, the oracles, the seers, the ones who are sitting outside of our human perception, you know, what is it gonna take for us to get to the next level? What is it gonna take for us to peel off the next layer? What is it gonna take for us to truly break generational curses? What is it going to take? So I'm gonna pull cards and we're gonna see. Y'all see, we stocking up on food and stuff, y'all, because you know, it's looking real funny. You just need to have some water and food put up just in case these days. This is a whole new world. So blessings to everybody here. You know, if you happen to be coming from scarcity and desiring to go into abundance, I'm definitely thinking of you in this reading too, because at the end of the day, a lot of us are running into difficulties in life because we're running on E. And we've tried our best to be our best, and now we're having to leave logic and go into the heart. And it's challenging when your heart is broken in remnants and pieces, you know? So this is for all of y'all. Not too long ago, I thought I would have went to hell for doing this. Just laughing at the growth. It's beautiful. Growth. It feels good to wake up and not have the fear of hell looming over you. Like, I lived like that for so long. And that is definitely one really, really good thing about awakening, is that you don't have that hanging over your head anymore. Yeah, that right there, that fact. Okay, so we're gonna start off with the core issue card, which is typically the black card. Okay, Mysteria. This card is Mysteria. Now, most of what you're gonna see on these cards are actual archaeological digs, paintings, and sacred items found around the world. Could someone put the Cash App information in the chat? We got a moderator in here tonight. I think I saw Leslie pop up in here. Leslie, could you give them the Cash App, Remnants Gathering? And the PayPal is just my email, my personal email, cam2479@gmail. But yes, thank you. Thank you for your like, share, subscribes, and please donate. I'm Sybyls Oracle. Did I leave that out? Where are my manners? Where are my manners? Thank you. Don't get it twisted, y'all. Them donations mean so much. We pray over every single one of them. Okay, Mysteria. That's a great card to pull with this new energy we're in. So Mysteria is superior knowledge only initiates the audacious. The crow represents intelligence, higher knowledge, adaptability, the underworld, and resourcefulness. Crows dine on the remains of dead animals that died naturally or are left over from the meals of predators, but they do not kill. The scroll represents the mysteries of all the ages, both oral and written. Roses in general represent passion, but here the buds represents the beginnings of a great desire to seek the unknown. Now she's going to go into some religio-mythological associations with this particular tarot card, which is just so awesome. So the oak god of Kumunu, or Hermopolis, okay? The 8th amphibian serpentine primordial goddess of the ancient Cometians represented the obscurity of the primordial state of the universe. They were Noon and Nanet, which is water, Amun and Amunet, which is invisibility, He and Hehet, which is infinity, and Kek and Keker, which is darkness. They had no priesthood, but merely represented the imperceptibility, the vastness, the creative potential of existence. The concept spread to Greece and Rome. Now, Amun was worshipped by the Cometians, the Libyans, the Cushites, the Greeks, and the Romans. His name means the hidden one, and he represents which cannot be fully comprehended, and all that is internally felt but cannot be perceived by the 5 senses. This is the challenge. This is what we are learning to do. To be the new people, anchoring a new energy, we must learn to walk without our eyesight, without our 2 eyes. There is nothing that must remain unknown to us, even if it is currently inexplicable. Somehow we know that there is always more to learn, which ultimately leads to experimentation and eventually the revelation of previously inconceivable truths. We also know that what was once common knowledge in the past may revert back into the category of mystery. again until the cycle towards rediscovery begins anew. Contemporary scientists have proclaimed that the universe consists of dark matter, but there is, as of yet, no unanimous decision about what it is or how it works. That's debatable, but okay. It is for the time being a great mystery to them. It may not be in our lifetime, but the qualities of dark matter will one day be easily explainable once someone receives a flash of inspiration that leads them to the answer. It is easy to forget that everything we use and have learned to cultivate had its origins in someone's aha moment, which shed light on paths we didn't believe could possibly exist. If there is something that you are unclear about, the first step to realizing the answer is to stop believing in the unknowable as an intrinsic fact. Loyalty to the perception of permanence creates stagnation. Loyalty, I gotta read that again. Loyalty to the perception of permanence creates stagnation. It is the mother of desperation and hopelessness. The second step to clarification is to stop believing that you can't be the vehicle for the solution. If you feel the light can only come through someone else, then it is not the right time for you to receive the answers that you may be seeking. The reason being that even if you were gifted with an amazing insight that could change your life or the lives of others for the better, you would probably deny its validity and end up back where you started, but with the additional burden of wondering if you were correct. However, if you really want to know, believe that it's absolutely possible for you to know. It is possible for you to know, and you're ready to receive the answer. Then the third step is to hold the question consistently in your heart and wait. We're a microwave generation. We're not used to waiting. Now, I know most of y'all here like mysteries just like we do. So this is really interesting because mysteries is kind of like a slick obsession for me. I want to figure everything out, you know? So these are some questions that you can use to activate the connection with you and your highest potential, your higher self, your soul. So if you get Mysteria in a reading, the Sybyls Oracle may be asking you to stop and consider the following questions related to your situation. Do you have a nagging question that just won't go away, and that if answered would allow you to move more peacefully through life? Are you afraid to ask what you want to know because you think it's impossible to know the answer? Are you relying too much on the experts on the matter? Is ignorance really bliss for you? I can't make this up, and I literally was just talking about that. I've been dealing with that all week. Are you attempting to hide or think you're too clever to be exposed? Are you purposely trying to misunderstand and make something confusing that does not have to be out of fear of what the plain truth may reveal to you? I'm going to read that one again. Are you purposely trying to misunderstand and make something confusing that does not have to be out of fear of what the plain truth may reveal? Are you prepared to be right or wrong when the truth surfaces? Are you considering the consequences of these revelations? Why do you really want to know what you want to know? Does your knowing benefit your life, or are you just being nosy? And the last one, have you already had your aha moment or received intuitive guidance regarding the matter, but are purposely choosing to ignore it? That's deep. So again, I've been in a cocoon all week. And yes, the more you know, the more revelation unveils itself to you, the deeper you can go into hopelessness and being just feeling fear of the unknown, to the point where it just paralyzes you and you become stagnant and you're not moving. And I get this a lot when people do readings with me and they'll ask me about their relationship, and then what comes up and I'm like, do you really want to know? Are you prepared to deal with the consequences of this revelation? Like, that is something to ponder. So yes, this is beautiful that this card came up. It definitely spoke to me, and I definitely see ways where this could be impacting me. So we'll ease to the next card. Golly, that's just the first card. Now, that card that I just read to you represents the fundamental issue, the core issue, okay? Now, the next card is gonna be a reflection of what you are projecting into your life that may or may not be of resonance with the truth of who you are. So we're gonna go into the projections now. Lust, libidine, aka lust. This is about to get interesting. Okay. We're gonna read about lust, y'all. Telling you, I'm realizing nothing is what it seems. Nothing is what I think it is. It's just like, what do I know? This week, I just had a moment where I was just like, okay, I got to go back to the basics and get clear on what I do know, what I don't want in my life, so that I can have clarity for what I do. So lust. To a moth, all lights are the moon. The key symbols. The luxurious bed represents lust and indulgence. The sconces represent the promise of passion, and the pomegranate represents indulgence, fertility, prosperity, and ambition. The religio-mythological association is Alpan, which was the Etruscan goddess of sexual activity and the underworld. It's interesting because I said to you that it was confirmed to me that a lot of the issues we have in life are actually sexual related issues, and they project, because that is the energy center of creation. It projects and creates so many things in your life, especially when you're unconscious of it. So I really think that hopefully it's just all of those listening to me now. I'm not gonna get dirty though, but I really think that over 90% of our issues are somehow connected to that. So it's really interesting that the cards that I'm pulling is in alignment with the webinar, with this class coming up that I kind of didn't want to do this week. So it says, when the urge to gratify a desire feels out of our control, we have the potential to cause tremendous pain to others as well as ourselves. And let me say something. When you have a fear how people are going to perceive you, and I've been paying attention to myself lately, it's really you fear not being able to control people's perception of you. It's not really about whether or not what they're perceiving is accurate or true. It's more so just I'm uncomfortable with not being able to control the way I'm being perceived. And that's you not allowing people to have their own feelings, and you're probably doing it subconsciously because you're numb from trauma and complex PTSD, post-traumatic slave syndrome. These are very real things that we're dealing with, and maybe you are numb on some levels, and it's just easier for you to write shit off, you know, like that. You know, but really, the fact of the matter is not being able to control people's perception and how they feel about you. And I've been practicing letting people be upset with me and not trying to talk them out of being upset with me, you know, and just accepting it. And you have a right to your feelings. So that's elementary spirituality, but it's a basic that I've had to go back to. So it goes on to say, for us to remain masters of our own lives, our desires must be tempered with focused reason so that we don't make mistakes that could have easily been avoided. This makes sense if we actually realize that our motivation to act originated from lust. However, lust is rarely identifiable, and such, that's true. As such, but instead it is mislabeled as ambition, perseverance, and courage. That's interesting. Lust is a shape-shifting emotion of the desire body, and it could be either. It says, what must be understood is that emotions in and of themselves, positive or negative, are not designed to care about you or anyone else, because they are merely the effect of a belief. Emotions like I don't give two fucks. I give no fucks. That is so true. The only concern is the effect of what you're believing in. But yeah, anyway. Caring about anything is based on an agreement of what you perceive to be true or false in any given situation. Once you agree or disagree, you make a choice about if and how you will emote or respond. The emotion you select at that point only seeks to be gratified, but herein lies the dilemma. Because people are essentially divine, they are not satisfied with the mere gratification of lust. They want to feel justified. For example, it is much harder to carry out an irresponsible act if you say to yourself, I'm lusting for blank, and I'm incapable of self-control because I'm weak. So this must be done, even if I cause great harm and inconvenience to myself and others in the process. Right? Everybody been there. I think everybody been there. You know you're being irresponsible, but you have this reason that you have given yourself to free you of the accountability of whatever it is that you're doing. I mean, this is like, look at yourself and just be real about the shit that is uncomfortable to be real about. So it goes on to say, this would make most people feel awful. But if you say, I know this may get me in a heap of trouble, but you only live once, and I want to grab the bull by the horns, then it's not so bad. Clearly, the second example is a better mask for lust because it makes the person feel heroic instead of impotent and selfish. Lust may get what you want in the short term, but eventually you must lose because lust for its own sake is not a creator, but a destroyer. I'm telling y'all, this is, golly, like, you see what I'm talking about? Like this sent me into, because I pulled this card personally for myself. And what I'm realizing is that When you've been in survival mode for a long time, you do function, operate from the place of lust for everything. So saying that lust is a destroyer is not ultimately, it's not about it being bad or negative. It just is what it is. And again, we have to descend first to ascend. So yes, a lot of shit got to be destroyed. So there is a place for lust, you know, and I do see the lessons that come from it. And typically they are the harder lessons, but you have to be there real with yourself, because once you start learning about this stuff and then basically you can make anything right, you know, but it go back to what is true for you. What resonates is true for you. What disturbs your peace and what doesn't, you know. You have to be in tune with yourself like this, because we got thought police out here. Like, people are not allowed to think freely and not even speak freely anymore. So the best thing that you can do for yourself is to be real with yourself about why you desire the things that you desire. You know, why you do the things that you do. Are you still making excuses for it? And I ain't gonna lie, for a long time, when I was still whooping my children, the excuse would be, well, they don't listen, and so if punishment not working, then I'm gonna have to whoop them. And really, to be honest with you, there were times where I was just fucking frustrated and irritated with the fact that they were not being controllable humans, you know, fully controllable humans. And that frustration, yeah, I whooped them out of frustration. We got our ass whooped out of frustration. Like, let's be real about that. So I'm kind of in the school of thinking with conscious parenting and where we're headed. Like, the days of whoopings, it's passing by, because we're connecting to a higher consciousness. So you're going to be more creative in how you help weave your children's lives and guide them. And this is why we're doing this conscious parenting course tomorrow, this online class, because everything goes back to that. And if you have awakened, then you know that a lot of your brokenness came from your childhood, and so you're having to reparent yourself. So as you are doing that, you do have to monitor what you're lusting for and why, and just make sure that you're ready to be accountable for whatever comes as a result of that, you know. The time of walking in illusion and lying to ourselves and believing it is over, you know, and we've called for this energy. That's why we're here. So the divinatory meaning of pulling this card for the collective: if you get libidine or lust in a reading, there is a danger that you are masking lustful intentions as something nobler. If you continue to fool yourself, understand that lust for its own sake can only result in pain. If what you are lusting after can only be accomplished by potentially wreaking havoc, then consider the following: why you feel you can't be happy or complete without the attainment of this goal. And the second thing to consider is what you could do to accomplish your goal with as little harm to yourself and others. So those are the questions to ask yourself. And even like when I first started making the potions and stuff, and even writing the blogs, that's a question that I always ask myself, because I don't want to do anything out of attachment to attainment of money, and that's like my only motivating factor, because that takes the magic out of it, you know. So yeah, this is really deep, but this is why this is how I'm able to believe in myself. You know, when you believe in yourself, you're gonna take strategic risk. And you're gonna lust along the way, and you're gonna say that you want something for one reason when it's really something else. It's just a part of the process of becoming. So yeah, I hope that these cards are speaking to y'all on a subconscious level, is what could be going on in your own life. External stimulation. Sexy Val, Denise, peace to you. Yeah. Yeah, the genetic. Yeah. Okay, let me stay focused on this, because this is really, it's more than what I expected actually to get. I feel like this is going to speak to people. And I also feel like this is kind of like a shadow reading too. This is like the shadow of the collective. You know, some things that we may not be fully aware of that's happening in our lives. But, you know, yeah. So the next card that I pull, wow. Progresses or gradual progress. Look at that picture. I can't wait to read about this one. The process of attainment for a lot of what the things we desire here, y'all, it's gonna take some time. It's definitely a gradual process. Okay. Let's see. Now, this is like the action card. So this is kind of going to represent like things that have been taking place. Maybe, like I said, most of this is on a subconscious level. A lot of this, you probably won't even become aware of it until you come back and watch this video later, and you'll be like, damn, okay. Because I already know that's what's going to happen. Because we're in this energy, and it's just, you can't hide from yourself. Like, you can't hide nothing. They got us wearing these masks, but the truth is, you can't hide nothing. Not under this Aquarius energy. This age is just like no more hiding. So even a slow cart on the road will eventually get to town. The key symbols, the larynx, the voice box, represents unseen processes. The beginning of everything we see started with words. First, an internal conversation took place. Then the external manifestation of that thought process followed. Though we don't realize it, speech is probably the most complex of human actions. We must use the air that's expelled from the lungs by pressure exerted from the ribs and the diaphragm and abdomen. Then that air has to move up through the windpipe to the larynx where the vocal cords vibrate to produce the voice. The throat, mouth, and nose then modify the sound while the lips, teeth, tongue, and palates work together to produce words. Saying good morning seemed like it just happened naturally, but it was actually a gradual, unseen process. We speak the world into its existence. The religio-mythological association is Abiona, which was the Roman goddess of outward journeys and first steps. The divinatory meaning of this card: take things one step at a time, and you will surely get there. Speed would exchange lasting value, and peace for temporary gratification and suffering. Speed would exchange lasting value and peace for temporary gratification and suffering. Some stuff is not moving because where it has potential to move you to, you are not yet in alignment with that energy and that place. And when you are an awakening soul to these things, we have a spiritual army. We still have free will, but it's just some things we're not going to be able to do. And I know that everybody is teaching you are a creator. You create whatever world you want. You do whatever you want to do. You have free will. Think it and it shall be. And all of those things are true. But when you awaken to a multi-dimensional universe, you learn that everything is a paradox. And that everything has two sides to it. No, I'm sorry. Everything has infinite sides to it as your consciousness becomes more infinite. So I've been catching myself speaking and saying stuff that I know is not in alignment with where I desire to go. And I stop and I catch myself, and I know y'all probably have too. But all of a sudden, my words, my language, Like I've become much more aware of what my words are creating. And when you connect awareness and your heart to your words, then you are able to paint the beautiful picture that you see in your mind's eye. It becomes more effortless. You know, you're not having to force it because you're learning how to move in alignment. You're learning how to pay attention to signs and synchronicities in your dreams and omens. And then you're able to be in silence until you hear with the inner ear, the heart. That's why heart, H-E-A-R-T, E-A-R, heart is hear. With your inner ear, your heart. And then you're able to make heart-led strategic risk. So it's a strategic risk, but because it's heart-led, the outcome is going to be beautiful every single time. And as you awaken to the power of your words, you also realize that maybe you're not using your words enough. Maybe you don't use your words to hurt people, you know, often, but maybe you don't use your words to heal yourself enough. So it's like I'm becoming more aware of how much of my language is creating the world that I desire to see, and how much of my language is just a reflection of my experiences and the unhealed wounds of those experiences. So I'm rephrasing myself. It's like a copy edit, a copy paste, you know, upgrade, where I'm restructuring my words and my sentences, and I'm catching myself. So I'm somebody that I was raised by a narcissistic parent. And so it caused me to be hyper vigilant, one, where I'm always super attached to everything going on around me so that I know how to react in a way that's not going to cause, you know, turmoil. And so with that, that's why I do reading so well, because I can literally feel your heart and where it is. So again, when you're thinking about this gradual progress, some of the stuff that you're experiencing right now legit is what's going to certify you for the next level. And you have to be able to stop sometimes, because we live in a world where everything is about movement as fast as possible. You know, even time seems to be moving faster. So you feel this pressure to get shit done and to move faster, and you'll end up dealing with burnout, trying to keep up with the pace of a frequency that you're being delivered out of, that you came to destroy. So it's just being able to know the difference between when I am going through a necessary phase for my evolution versus am I procrastinating because I'm afraid of the uncertainty, because I'm afraid of what this decision might cost me. You know, you have to ask yourself, which are you doing? Are you avoiding the world when you're procrastinating, you know? Or are you truly taking some time for self to be regenerated and then go back into the world and continue, you know, co-creating? But again, it's just some stuff you're not going to be able to do. When you are a divine being and aware of that, and you are connected with this realm that is calling you to be in alignment, to give you what it is that your heart desire. That is grace that sometimes you can't even make bad decisions. You know, you might be getting ready to have a conversation with somebody about maybe their husband or their wife or something. You've been seeing them with somebody else, and it really ain't none of your business, but then in a way you feel like it is, and you probably should tell them, because if the shoe was on the other foot, you would want them to tell you. You know, you do all of that back and forth, and you wake up the next morning and you hoarse. You got laryngitis. Can't say a word. It's nothing you can do about that in that moment. That showed up to protect you or to teach you something. And so just know that, yes, the process is gradual. And when you take your time and you take one step at a time, as you're getting to these new levels of your manifestation in your life, you're fully prepared, you know? And it's, you want to cultivate you so that your foundation is good. No matter where life takes you, it's going to turn out good because you put work into the foundation of who you are. Fuck what the world think, what I'm trying to keep up with the Joneses, like all that external stuff. Fuck that. Am I investing in myself? Am I truly making investments in myself to be the person that I want to be? Or am I in limbo? Or am I stagnant because I'm afraid to make a decision because I'm afraid to mess up? If you mess up, it is part of the gradual progress. You will get there. You know? So, yeah, it's kind of like old people driving. They take their time. But you know what? Their insurance rate is lower than everybody else's because I hear they have less wrecks. So it's just like, I be so frustrated sometimes. And, you know, it's just like they feel like we'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. And so that's kind of the lesson that's been coming through with that card. That's what I feel. You'll get there when you get there. Give love to yourself. Be patient with yourself. Yes, challenge yourself at times. But just know that you will get there when you are meant to get there. If you manifest it before you are ready for it, it's just going to be a burden for you. And your higher self, that ain't even what your higher self is doing with you. The reason why you even know what a higher self is in the first place. So that I picture some obstacles as grace and mercy protecting us for what we are not ready for. So the last card that I pull is Questio, or questioning. Questio, questioning. I'm going to look this card up. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this live tonight is like cultivating peace for everybody who watches this, you know. It's just like cultivating just this peaceful energy. I don't know, just, yeah, this was necessary. Okay, so Questio, or questioning. It says the fear of hearing no is the #1 cause of all lost fortunes. Wow. Is that not alignment with what I was just like energetically channeling? The fear of hearing no is the #1 cause of all lost fortunes. The key represents access. The feathers depict writing, truth, spirit, ascension, messages, and travel. The crossing of the feathers is the two sides of a situation needing to be resolved. The religio-mythological association for this card is Janus, the Roman god of gates, doors, portals, beginnings, and endings. He was probably originally an Etruscan god named Ani. Peace, fam. Peace, Ani. Osaru, our brother. And was associated with the Babylonian god Uzmu. All religious rites began with invocations to Janus. Okay, so this is that, again, something must end for something to begin. The time between the movement of those two doors could be days, weeks, hours, months, years. And being able to just stand in that space, you know, and this is you opening up to life. And this is what I've been being challenged to do. I've been being challenged to be more open to life, experiences, bad and good, just living more open to life. And yeah, that's been my challenge. So the divinatory meaning of this card says, seek answers and don't stop until you are satisfied. If you feel uncomfortable or afraid to ask questions, remember that your comfort zone is not necessarily the right zone regarding this issue. Wow. Y'all, like, everything starts with a question. And I even noticed this myself. I have been hurt so much. Sometimes hearing no feels like a sword in my heart. And I didn't know why. Whether it was coming from someone else or coming out of my own mouth to somebody, I was uncomfortable with it. You know, this people pleasing. I got to say yes anytime somebody asks for my help. Just feeling like you're obligated. So with pulling these cards and going from beginning to ending, again, we are being trained to be sensitive enough to gauge when our questioning, you know, is really necessary, and if we're ready for what's on the other side of that question. And being real with yourself, you know, about the art. Like, you got to be real with yourself to see the real world, to see the world through the eyes of the creator, of God, of source. And that feels scary to our nervous system, because there is a guardian of threshold always standing at this gateway to test you, to see if you are indeed ready to cross into this new beginning. And, you know, when you have grown comfortable, maybe, you know, it's always something like you want to change. But I know for me, being comfortable has become a challenge for me, because it leads to me not making any moves or decisions at all. It leads to me not seeking clarity and then doing something about it, you know. So for me, I know what I have learned is that life is going to make you uncomfortable when it is time for you to grow. So when you feel that uncomfortable feeling, you can console yourself by saying, okay, this is growth. This is expansion, what I'm feeling. Okay, it don't feel good, but this is growth. This is expansion. This is what I'm here for. You have to reaffirm yourself, you know, and so many of us we have so many gifts and we're destined for so many great things, but you still feel like it's something invisible that's holding you back. And I really believe for a lot of us, it's because there's more work that is needed to be done to unveil and integrate our psyche with our shadow self, so that we learn how to devour those chaotic energies that come into our life and use them in a way that's going to be beneficial for us or for others, you know. So it's having that resilience where I'm not per se trying to control life, but I'm training myself to learn how to surrender to life and to be resilient at whatever life may bring my way. Like that is the true walk, the sacred walk of finding that balance and that peace and that harmony, where I'm not trying to control the world anymore and every fucking body in it and how they feel and what they think. That is the moment where you truly come home to self, and you let go of all the external attachments that you need from the external world to make you feel comfortable. So when uncomfortable shit happens, it's because you've been comfortable in an area to a point where you're not going to grow. And if you've been asking to grow, and that is the desire of your heart, then life is going to make you a little uncomfortable so that you will do what it is that you need to do. You know, and that's just reality. And what I'm learning is to be able to just love it all, to love it all, and to see the benefit in everything. just practicing having a more divine perspective, a bird's eye view, so to speak. Yeah, and practicing being okay with whatever is on the other side of that door, on the other side of that question. So for some of us, yes, there are things ending, but there's grace for you in that space where you're going from something ending to something to beginning. And I'm speaking from experience. There has always been a grace available for me when I was in the space of something, knowing that something needs to end and walking into the space of something new. There will be grace for you there. And, that's just the beauty of being human and aware, having a soul, and having a whole team, a whole spiritual team. Whether you have had experiences or not where you feel like you can say legit, yep, I know Archangel Michael be riding with me. I know Sekhmet be riding for me. I know Yemiya is my mama. I know, like, everybody not to that point where they can say that and really, really mean that and feel that and believe that and walk in that. So the good place to start is just by, I know my higher self riding with me. You know what I'm saying? You want to try to keep the focus and the energy on you being able to visualize yourself and your life better. Focus that energy within, turn it within that way, grounding yourself in earth, anchoring yourself in gratitude. Stuff is going to happen, is going to knock you down. The last reading that I did, it was saying that, for some of us, we feel like we're being broken open in some ways, but it's not to end you. It's the new beginning. So yes, with this transformation, a lot of miraculous things are going to be happening just because of us shifting to this frequency and being challenged like this on a collective level. It's gonna provide that space. It's gonna provide that grace, where miracles can happen in this place. Like, for real, that's what I see happening. And we need that. Don't we need that? Like, right now, more than ever, we really need to be able to have a testimony of a miracle. And we get them every day if you really think about it. It's a miracle that you woke up this morning. It is a miracle that you're not thinking about your heart beating, but it's beating. Like, miracles happen all day, every day. Sometimes we need a little bit more, Sometimes we need a little bit more. And it's okay to ask for that, You need that, and to align with that, and believe that, and believe that your higher self is your GPS system, and your higher self is helping you and speaking to you, and even when you may feel unsure. And this is why we have synchronicities. We see numbers. All of these things. The universe is just reminding us of what we once knew, but we forgot. So we've all reincarnated here again, so that we can remember that, oh, I know how to heal. I know how to heal. Oh, I know how to, whatever it is that you're here to do, we're just here to remember what we once knew. And just being able to trust in that, and to know that you are not alone, and it feels so lonely, but you're not alone. And to just be allowing, and just allow yourself to go through the experience. Allow yourself, if you're in low vibrations, just be present with yourself and be compassionate with yourself in that space. And just by doing that, you're offering a higher vibration to a lower vibrational area. And whenever you do that, that's sowing a seed that's gonna reap something beautiful for you and provide a spiritual harvest for you. So when it get tough like that, just remember me saying these words, that like it's gonna work out for you. It is a gradual process, and it is coming. And you got to be your biggest cheerleader right now. We have to be our biggest cheerleader. And awakening, and not having all the other stuff we used to have to make us feel comfortable and make us feel like we were growing and getting better and this, that, and the other. Yes, we're being trained. We're being trained to be more 5D in our consciousness. And so that's why a lot of us are experiencing the challenges that we are. You will succeed at dealing with the challenges. Okay, did anybody have any questions or anything? Like, I hope it's speaking to somebody. It definitely was speaking to me. Ideas Inc. Greetings to you, Trinidad and Tobago. Oh, Mama Lioness, peace to you. This is the Sybyls Oraculum. The Sybyls Oraculum. I found this on Amazon. And yeah, I was just very divinely led to this. Greetings, El Sheba segment. Multi-layers of the program. That's right. Sexy Vol Denise, absolutely. Peace, CJ. Well, I'm glad you made it. I hate you didn't get it. Yeah, I don't know what be happening with that, where sometimes you don't get notifications. Okay, Divine Queen. Just go to remnantsgathering.com and we can book your reading. Peace, Luna. How are you? That's my sister over there, my sister from another mother. Luna, y'all. Check her channel out. She's really, really dope, and sorry that this is rocking, doing her own thing, going against the current, you know, in a lot of ways. Yeah, we must support each other. So nobody had questions. I feel like this was just so meaty. You know, this was so nourishing. And I know deep down in my heart that in these chaotic times, it looks so crazy, but I know deep down in my heart that it is for our benefit. Those who have decided to awaken in this time, it is for our benefit. And we are purging the addictions to that lower vibrational realm and that lower nature. You know, it became a comfort zone. And for some of us, I want to give an example before I get off here, because I just feel like I'm connecting with everybody here. But an example of this, you know, you want to manifest something, right? And you're like, I want to manifest, I want to be a millionaire. And I'm going to give myself to the end of the year to be halfway there. Like we, you know, talk real big shit like that, you know, and you'll see other people manifesting it, right? How I manifested $1 million, you know, in a year and stuff. And you're like, why is it not happening for me? You know, why is it not happening? What it happened for them. Why is it not happening for me? The first sign that you're not ready is when you start asking yourself and won't let it go. Why is it not happening to me? And so what happens is we've been trained to be so focused on the physical that claiming the invisible and just believing the invisible until it's a knowing, that's unknown to us. That's not something that a lot of us have been skilled and trained at doing. So with the illusion that's been in this world and controlling the world dying, we're having to challenge our very own perceptions, and we're having to speak against whatever the current is that's been a pattern in our lives. So it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm having a bad day. Yep, I'm not feeling well today, but I know eventually I'm going to get better. You're going against the current, you know, and but you're moving in harmony with this awakening process. That's what we're having to do. You're having to deal with somebody running into the back of you. Let's say, when I have wrecks, it always make me feel, wrecks feel like the most non-divinely orchestrated, ordained thing that could possibly happen in the world. It's kind of one of them things for me. And so it's crazy, but the last time we had a wreck, I knew that I reached a certain level in my awakening, because when we had the wreck, usually I would get pissed and start cussing. That's like my first reaction. But this time I was just like, yo, we just got hit. Thank you, Source, for protection. I know this is not to harm us, but this is to help us. It was like, I was like, I'm not even mad about it. Like, yeah, it definitely threw a wrench in everything we needed to do because it was a really important trip. I was going to have surgery in Florida. So this threw the scheduling and stuff off. So it was like potential to be really frustrated. We had literally just got in the rental car and got hit soon as we pulled out of the airport. It was just one of them situations where where the universe like, ha, 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 ha. You thought you had control of everything and you don't. And in that moment, my first response to that was elevated. It was something different than before. And that's been happening when I've been losing my loved ones too, where my response to it is elevated. And I'm like, I love you so much and it breaks my heart and I'm going to miss you. But I know that you have been elevated and I'll celebrate that. I want to celebrate your life. You know, I want to commune with you and not treat you like you're not here anymore just because you left the physical realm. Like I find myself having these kinds of conversations. I find myself talking to people who passed away like they sitting right here beside me, and I'll just catch myself doing it and I'm like, "Oh shit, like this is awesome being able to get to the point where your grief lessens because of the lessons that you're getting from the awakening, that grief is not as dense to you. Death is not as dense to you. So no, I'm definitely not saying if me and Ernest were to lose each other, we would be towing from the flow up. But ultimately, deep down in, because our soul is awakening, we've been cultivating this experience that isn't linear. And so you will find yourself having peace where there could be no peace before. And you will find yourself being limitless in the ways that you can celebrate this soul and connect and honor them. Like I've been paying attention lately to how death affects people and how death affects me, and losing who and how much it would hurt. Like my mind has just been having these hypotheticals and these simulations, and it's like my energetic body and my nervous system, it is training me in these simulations. And so it's like it's just a thought that you're having, but it's a simulation that is training you so that when things happen you can respond in an elevated manner. And that right there, you cannot put a price on that. That is such a beautiful experience, to catch yourself in the moment of responding in an elevated way where you can see your growth. Oh, that's such an experience. And I believe that that's what's going to come from this video today, our gathering, and everything that we're individually doing and are weaving together. It is so beautiful what is coming. So, you know, try not to get too caught up in the negative things, you know, that are happening. That's always going to be happening. But just practicing being non-linear in your thinking and the way you respond. And it will help you to open up more, to let love in. And letting love in is just being in a place of full surrender to life and practicing grounding yourself in your present moment, whatever that may be. So maybe your present moment, you got some stuff you need to get done and you need to use your analytical mind, you know? You need to do some left brain rationales and crunch some numbers, shit that I hate doing. And it's just like, okay, I really don't feel like it, but I really need to do this right now. Let me get this done. And then when you get it done, you congratulate yourself and you celebrate yourself like you did that. Just making a big deal about the things that seem small is so important to do that. Because at the end of the day, in order for this new earth to anchor, we're going to have to be able to see something that is communicating the complete opposite of what it is that you are believing for and working for. You know, seeing is not believing. Believing is believing, you know, and that comes in practice, where you just become the kind of person where you just like, if I make sure that I'm anchored in love in everything that I do, I'm not gonna fail. Like that's the key to success. Can I anchor love into all of my experiences? Like that foundation right there, that's a solid foundation that you can build anything on when you're able to come back to love, come slow down the moment, come back to self, and just offer love to whatever's happening, whether it's you, something happening in your life, just to be able to offer love, just to be able to be hit with a whole lot of terrible circumstances and problems and issues, and you might weep and you might cry and get angry and have all of the moments, but even in all of that, because you have been awakening and you've been cultivating your awakening and being choosy about the stuff that you listen to and that you read, and actually listening to spirit and intuition and allowing yourself to be guided, like when you do those things, you activate this part of you, this higher self part of you. And so when things happen, it hurts like it always has, but you find yourself being able to have peace from the expanded consciousness. It provides peace for you. And to be able to say, no matter what is happening, I know that things are working out for me. And I'm not perfect, but I know that I've been cultivating love. You know, and so that is the key to success. Are you cultivating love? Being able to do that is going to call for you to make decisions from your heart. For some of you, cultivating love looks like cultivating love for yourself and not allowing people to deplete you and drain you and run over you and mistreat you, and you just take it. That may be cultivating love for yourself. This is the energy that is the new currency of the new world. This is the energy that is going to carry you there. You may not have the logistics. You may not, like, I would have never thought that I would have been running a spiritual business. It wasn't ever the goal, you know? I just followed the movement of what was happening, and I made decisions in alignment with what felt like was being asked of me and commanded of me to come higher. And in doing that, you know, yeah, it was some low moments, not even long ago, but just knowing that what I am doing, I am cultivating love, and I'm giving that in service with my life the best way that I can. Just know that, knowing right there, that is what is going to ground you and anchor you for whatever it is that is ahead of you. So I challenge you to give love to those shadow aspects about you, the things that you discover about you, and even other people, to be able to give love to that, to be able to free yourself and give love to the people that victimize you and hurt you and broke you, to be able to give love to the people that bullied you, to be able to give love, to be like, I just give love to that. I give love to that experience. I give love to this pain. I give love to this pain. What would I lose if I gave love to this pain? Like, this is the challenge that you just feel the call for expansion. Thank you for that 1111. Ashe. May that return to you 36 to 100 fold, Rika Shah. That is beautiful. You came up in here, and I saw 1111 just today, and seeing it again, that's that gateway conversation. And it's gold. It's golden. But being able to give love to that is the ultimate test. And that is what's being required of us. And that is the key to resilience as well. Being able to be in love. Like being able to identify with the frequency of love and participate in it. So for some of y'all, this might look like you being vulnerable. You taking chances. You know? Giving love to whatever it is that's present in your life. For some of you, that looks like allowing yourself to cry and allowing yourself to feel, to where you're not ignoring your hurt anymore, and your grief and your pain. For some of you, that is the requirement for you to have this expression of love, to be able to give it to yourself, you know, to be able to let yourself fall and be like, I'm with me though. I got me. I look in the mirror and I hold myself and I hug myself and I say, I got you. I got you. You know, sometimes you just need to remind yourself. Your higher self cannot leave or forsake you. That is the Holy Spirit. That is the holy part of you. And yes, it is golden. No matter where you are, no matter what is happening. And this is coming from somebody who has been through so much. But can you give love to your experiences? The ones that broke you. That's the challenge. And when you get to a point where you can love yourself through your own brokenness, through your own imperfections, when you can love yourself through that, you tap into, you ultimately tap into a frequency that is always going to deliver love back to you, because you've made a conscious decision to bring love to everything that you do, to bring love to it. Like that is the soul's work. And that is a journey. That is not a destination. No human being will ever fully arrive to that. We are here to have these experiences, you know, and to cultivate this love, and have to create, have to create in alignment with love. But it's so beautiful. And I always ask myself, why do people get readings with me? I ask my clients, you know, why did you choose me to do your reading? And they would always say to me, I really feel like you cultivate love. I really feel like you serve in love. And, you know, that's huge. That's a big deal. And so the requirement has been, can I give the love that I've been given to other people my whole life to myself? And I think that that's probably a lot of the challenges for us on a collective level. I've talked long enough. Y'all just listening to me ramble. Let's see what y'all got going on in here. I'm gonna have to get off soon. Oh, the smoothie was great. Yeah, ain't it delicious? Yes, it's so delicious. Not needing physical validation. Yes. That's crazy. We just got in a wreck 2 days ago and got hit from behind, and we felt the same way. Yes. Yes. That is true freedom. To be able to just not feel separate from source, from God, no matter what is happening. Like, that is true freedom. And that frequency is love, you know. And yeah, we got this. You got this. You got you, and we got each other. And we just gonna take our time and take it as it goes, you know, and continue to practice harnessing this energy. I'm telling y'all, I know it looks really, really crazy right now, but the breakthroughs that's coming so soon, it's gonna be to the point where you can look at any situation and find the blessing in it, to the point where shit become humorous to you, and you just like, I can't do nothing but laugh, you know. That's how I was when I had to go to the emergency room in the middle of a snowstorm, the snowstorm of never in time we ever had in Memphis. You know, it was humorous to me that it was happening like that. Out of all days that I would feel so bad, this day. And we was sliding everywhere on the way to the hospital. And it was just so much snow. It was just crazy. It was moments where I wanted to turn around and go home, but I was in so much pain I couldn't. And once I made it to the hospital, just so much crazy shit had happened. Just people being rude, people being racist. Like, it was just all just piling up. And I just had to laugh. I was just like, this is insane. But it's okay. It's okay. This is insane, but it's okay. And I was just like, that's liberation. That's true freedom. To where no matter what's happening, you can be like, it's okay though. It's okay. And really feel that. So keep practicing doing that. That is the spiritual practice. Feeling okay when it's not okay. That is bringing love to a situation. you know, learning how to feel okay. But I do. It's beautiful what we're cultivating. I appreciate you all so much. The conversation we're having tomorrow.